Welcome back to A Pretty Life. Today I'm going to share with you the top 3 reasons why we homeschool. Reason number 1 is God. Our faith is the most important part of who we are, and that is very important to teach our kids. And also, I felt like God called me to homeschool. I believe that He put that desire in me to do it, and looking back, there were interests in child development. I wanted to be a teacher. I was kind of exploring some of that as a young adult, and now I see that it translates into homeschool. So it's kind of ironic that I would be doing this, because I never thought I would have homeschooled. My husband and I both went to public school, and I didn't know many people who were homeschooled. I think at the time that I was in school, there was still a pretty strong stigma on homeschoolers, and so when I decided to do it, I was a little bit like, I don't want my kids to turn out weird. Which of course now I'm like the opposite. Please, yes, turn out weird. Be different than the world. Please do. That's our calling. So that's the number 1 reason why we homeschool, is to create an environment where our kids can learn about who they are as God's children, their relationship with God, and also living out our faith together as a family and what that looks like practically. So for example, when we're having a hard day and having a tough time, either relationally or while we're learning something, or having to do things we don't want to do, we don't like to do, or whatever it is, just having a challenging time, we will spend time praying together, asking God to come in and be in the midst of whatever it is we're going through. We will put on worship music and just start praising and worshiping God, because oftentimes we can be too internally focused instead of looking at God and focusing on Him and His bigger plan, and realizing that the world does not revolve around us. And also we do, have our disciplines we practice every day. We're reading our Bible. We are praying together at certain times of the day, every single day. But I think it's those moments where you pause and you realize, I'm not inviting God into my situation right now, and I need to, and I need His help. Those are just so precious. And also for me, when I'm struggling or I'm not being kind or respectful to my child, and I need to ask for forgiveness and apologize to them, that way they can see more of a reflection of who God is and what He is like, rather than coming onto them really strong and hard and I'm always right and I don't make mistakes, or I'm, doing that kind of thing does not show them the grace of God, and it doesn't show them humility. And I believe that that's my job, to show them that as their parent, being that reflection, and also making them aware that I am not God, I am not Jesus. So I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to always be kind and good and gracious like I should be. But hopefully they'll be able to see, as I work out my own relationship with the Lord daily, that small steps of getting better and doing better, and they get to watch the work of God in my life, which is going to be a huge transformation, or huge, that's not even the right word, but it's going to speak to them in big ways, more than just me telling them or trying to teach them something. So I really believe in the unit as a family, and acting out, living out our faith and our relationship with God together. Reason number 2 is the flexibility that it gives. We love being able to do whatever we want, whenever we want. And in terms of going on a vacation, or if my husband has time off and it's during the week, we can spend that time together as a family. We can plan things when it's not as busy. I love that. Last year was totally different, of course, but usually we can go places and do things and do it when it's not as busy, because everybody's in school. And So the number 2 reason is the flexibility that it gives. That's amazing. Number 3 is, and these are not in any order except for the first one, but 2 and 3, flexibility, and that would probably be actually number 3 if I did these in order. But the last reason is because we get to deep dive into the things that we are interested in, the things that my kids are interested in. I just felt like they would be able to get a really rich personal education, being able to be at home, having more time to stay in what they're wanting to learn about. You know, they don't have to just move on to the next thing because it's time. They don't have someone who doesn't know them, isn't involved in their life, doesn't truly care about them, dictating what they learn and when they learn it. They get to decide that along with the assistance of me and my husband, and or a co-op or a teacher in that manner if we're involved in something like that. But they get to choose that, and if they need to spend several months on something, then they can. If they're ready to move on, then they can. And so I love that. And also being able to have a hands-on experience, being able to go out, go to the library, go to the parks, go to the river, go to the lakes, go to museums, art museums, rock museums, whatever, and be able to have that hands-on learning and really enrich the experience. I think that's super important. So we're able to do that. I remember in school, I think the field trips were my favorite parts. The field trips and anything that was hands-on. And there just wasn't as much of that. And so being able to really have that be the bulk of what we're doing is wonderful. So those are the 3 reasons why we homeschool. I really hope that this is an encouraging video. I hope that it helps you. If you're thinking about homeschooling, I definitely suggest it. I was very scared too. I did not feel like I would be able to homeschool. I didn't feel smart enough, or even just the kind of stigma around homeschoolers being weird, or friends saying you're crazy, you want to be with your kids all day every day. And through the process, I realized I needed community. I needed people who were also finding the joy in being around their kids all the time. I needed people who knew that this was important work and that this was fruitful, and were also choosing to do this with their life, and having that encouragement, not to say run from it, don't do it, it's too hard, it's too scary. I needed people who said it's hard and it's scary and you can do it, and here's how. So I needed to find those who would encourage me through it and not tell me to give up on it or to not do it at all. And so that's what I want to be here for. I want to encourage you through it, that you can do it. And there's so many resources now. There's all the curriculums, but even aside from that, it does not take all the curriculums to do you want to come sit with me, bud? It does not take all the curriculums to homeschool. It just takes a few things: books, a pencil, a notebook, and just talking, time, just chatting about the world around you, going out into the world around you. And so, yeah, and I'll do another video probably on kind of the simple materials you would need to homeschool and what we do. So yeah, I hope that this was encouraging. I hope you guys have a fabulous, blessed day, and thank you so much for chatting with me. What do you think?